Hey everyone, it's David Rao. I just wanted to take a second to show you a quick video of how I would teach using a video from the Nutcracker. I use the Nutcracker every year, and I sort of developed a few things that I say to kids along the way so that they're not just sitting watching a ballet happen on the screen, but I try and interject and give some things for them to watch and mention some things and explain some things. So I figured I would just take a second and run through just one song. I'm going to do the Dance of the Sugarplum Fairy and show you how I would explain things to kids as we go. So I speak over what's happening on the screen just to give them a little bit of context. And this is a video from the Royal Opera House in the UK. It's one of my favorite recordings. This is just one video they have available on YouTube that I'll show you. But I do this for the whole thing when I show bits and pieces to kids. So I say something like, "Oh wow, see how she's walking out so delicately?" And as you watch, she's not just walking. As she's walking, look at how she's walking. Look at her feet. Do you see she's standing on the very tips of her toes? That's really hard to do. And actually, she's spent years and years and years learning how to walk and make the moving so delicately look so simple, even though it's really very hard. She actually has special shoes called Pointe Shoes that she wears, so that when she stands on the tips of her toes, it doesn't hurt quite so much. It's still very difficult, but she's doing a really wonderful job. And as she jumps and as she moves around, she's looking very gentle and very smooth, but she's one of the best dancers in the whole ballet company, and this special dance is only for her because she's worked so hard to be able to make everything look so simple when really it's very difficult. And did you know that the skirt that she's wearing, did you notice that? It comes out. Usually girls don't wear skirts that puff out like that. They don't want you to see anything inappropriate, but she's wearing tights and a costume so that you can see and it's not a big deal. You won't see anything inappropriate, but she wears the tutu because she's worked so many years for so long to be able to do these dances and things, and if she wore a long dress and covered up her legs and her feet, you wouldn't see all the important dancing that's happening. So she does lots of little moves and jumps and spins, and she doesn't fall over, she doesn't get dizzy, she doesn't get tired. She makes everything look very simple. One of my favorite things is about to happen where she spins, and watch how she spins without getting dizzy or tired. She's spinning on the tips of her toes, and she's spinning over and over and over and over and over and not tripping, not falling. She's doing a really amazing job, and when she stops, she's not going to tip or have problems either. She's going to stop right when she means to. So as we go through and watch things, I like to show students things to look for. I like to say things like, "Look at her costume," or "Look at her outfits," or as she's watching, "Look for this thing." Or if we're watching another part of the ballet, I might say like, "Ooh, see how that they're moving, and you can tell what they want you to know just by how they move. They don't have to say any words; they can explain it just using their movement and their body." And this is not a great example for something like that because she's really just dancing. But in other parts of the story where an important plot point is happening, you can mention that to students as you watch. But I do like to point out the costumes. I do like to point out that boys are a big part of it, and that the boys, it's not just that they're dancing really beautifully, but they have to be very, very strong to be able to lift and throw and pull and do all of those things with other dancers. And so I like to highlight that. But I always highlight the pointe shoes for sure, the outfits, the tutus. I always talk about how you're not seeing anything inappropriate. But I also talk about how they make something that's very, very difficult look super simple and easy. I hope this gives you some ideas about how you might incorporate the ballet or a video into your classroom. It's really not a tricky thing to do. Once you start doing it once or twice, you find things to pick out and point out to students, and students end up asking really, really wonderful questions and smart questions. So I hope this helps out a little bit and gives you a few ideas about how I use this and use ballets and explain them through videos in my classroom.